The first step is to select a frame and fork set. You can build a powder bike from any size frame as long as you have a pair of forks that match. I have found through experiments and field research that a 20-inch bike responds better and is considerably more stable than any other size frame set. I highly recommend using that size.
Now that we've got our bike frame stripped down, we're going to take apart our headset with our vice grips and invert the frame and forks. There's several reasons why we invert the frame and forks. The first one is we need to sort of compensate for gravity because as you're going down the hill, the whole bike's going to be leaning forward, so we need to sort of shift the whole weight of the bike back so that you don't fall over the handlebars when you're going down the hill. So we're going to invert the frame. Make sure you save your bearings and reinstall them so that your steering turns correctly.
Use grease or petroleum jelly on the bearing rings to lubricate and prevent rusting.
You can use your vice grips to tighten them down. Careful not to cross thread anything. You want to make sure that all your bolts fit on correctly. And the second reason why we invert the frame of the bike,
we will be installing a handlebar stem into the seat post tube of the frame and attaching it to the tip of the rear board. This will allow the tip of the rear board to flex slightly, similar to that of a skateboard truck, and aid in carving.
There are many things to consider when choosing a handlebar for your powder bike. Feel free to try many different designs to see which one suits your style of riding and size. This is a totally flat bar designed for freestyle, thus enabling easier bar spins, and you don't snag your feet or hands on the bars when hopping over the bike and trying various different moves. If you're a taller rider, you may prefer a higher bar, giving you a little more room on the bike. If you're into just cruising, you may prefer a more laid-back design with a curved handlebar grip. I've chosen a semi-flat design, slightly risen, but still fairly low profile. This helps me keep my weight back on the bike. I'm a pretty small guy, so I don't need much room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up my bars here.
Remember, the lower you keep your center of gravity, the more forgiving and predictable your ride will be.
You'll want to make sure that your stem is completely straight on the fork tube. This way your bike doesn't pull to the left or the right when you're riding.
The handlebars should be tightened, angled slightly back towards the rider. Next, we'll install the foot grips and foot standing platforms onto the frame set. You will need a standard bicycle seat post, preferably chromoly because it's much more durable. We will lash the seat post to the frame with 3 radiator clamps. The clamps will lash to the frame on the crossbar where the caliper brake would normally attach. Install one hand grip onto each end of the seat post. Make sure the post is inserted all the way into the grip until there's about a ½ inch left over on the end. This end will act as a safety bumper. Depending on the thickness of seat post, you may have to use your hammer to give it a nudge or two to get the grips on all the way. This process can be done before or after the powder bike is complete, as seen in video. With your scissors, cut a V-shaped notch into the guard for each grip. This notch will allow the foot standing platform to mount flat on the cross beam of the frame and stop it from turning. Place the standing platform on the crossbar of the frame with the notches on the inside edges of the frame bars. Then install your first radiator clamp over the center portion of the platform, clamping it to the frame. Make sure both notches in the grips are aligned on the crossbar. When you have it in the correct position, you can tighten with your screwdriver. It's important that you have the standing platform mounted center on the frame, and the grips on the end again will act as safety bumpers. After clamp 1 is tightened, you can install clamp 2, position, and then tighten it with a screwdriver. Finally, we will install a third radiator clamp, securing the foot standing platform to the center crossbeam. Make sure the clamps are tucked away neatly on the inside of the frame to ensure that you won't hook or snag your boots when riding. The grips on the foot stands provide excellent traction, as well as being fully functional hand grips for performing more advanced tricks and grabs.